So a lot of people are kind of annoyed at Angel Reese right now after what she said. And I can see why people are a bit annoyed, but at the end of the day, is she really wrong in what she said? Before we get on, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are way under 100 away from 6,000. Like we're like just over 70 subscribers away from 6,000, which is wild, absolutely wild. If we could hit that by the end of the day, that would be insane. But now we are going to get on to the video. So Angel Reese was being interviewed. Obviously, she was with what's her name? Kennedy Carter. So she was with Kennedy Carter, talking about basically how it was almost like an anti-Caitlin Clark rant, saying that the league grew because of her as well and because of all the other players, and how it isn't only growing just from the one player. And I think that she's not wrong in saying that, but it doesn't help the narrative, if you understand what I mean. Like, for example, the reason, I think one of the biggest reasons why people, when it were so angry about the Kennedy Carter situation, is in the Storm game, she got punched, whether it was a punch, whatever it was a jab, whatever it was, in the throat by Vivian's. So she was punched in the throat the game before, and there was like calls for the referees to protect her. She came out and was like, I'm getting hammered. Christy Sides was like, the referees aren't calling it properly. So there was already this like conspiracy against Caitlin Clark. And then it seems like what people believed, their conspiracy became validated from the Kennedy Carter situation, which is why people were believing that so much. And all Angel Reese doubling down, while I actually don't think she's wrong in what she's saying necessarily, her doubling down just gives more ammo to these WNBA players are jealous of Caitlin Clark's situation. Because at the end of the day, I think more so than anything, they are just sick of it. I think they're all sick of it. I think if Caitlin Clark was someone who was all the time on social media, she'd probably be sick of it too. I think whoever's gotten in her ear to just stop using social media is probably the best thing. It's probably the best thing for her, because if she was there all the time reading all this, it couldn't be good for either side. So I just don't think she's probably using social media that much, for being honest. But one of the big things that really, really did strike me from what Angel Reese has said is that the one thing Angel Reese just gets, and I always look, you guys, a lot of you guys are upset at how much I hype up Angel Reese. I just really like Angel Reese. Do I like everything she does? No. I don't like everything every person does. But as far as being a fan of sport, as far as being entertained, I think she just gets it. She just gets it. And even in her interview, she was talking about how basically they want me to be the villain, so I'll be the villain. Again, I'm completely paraphrasing it, but she's basically said that. And you know what? She gets it. She fully understands the whole thing, because she's now the villain. People are going to be watching her versus Caitlin Clark, because let's be real, no matter how much people want to claim they're watching the sport for Angel Reese's game is not fun to watch. Nobody ever turned on the 2012 Brooklyn Nets to watch Reggie Lewis play the sport of basketball. Or say not Reggie Lewis, Reggie Evans play the sport of basketball. That's effectively the game that Angel Reese plays. No one's watching the Thunder with Westbrook to watch Steven Adams go be the best offensive rebounder in the league. I really, really like Angel Reese. I think she's a perfect glue guy. I think in a redraft, as I said yesterday, I think she still goes number 3. I think she's a perfect fit in Chicago. But scorers and guard play is what drives viewers. Whereas Angel Reese, the person, people watch Angel Reese because of Angel Reese, the person, and she just gets it. She gets it. And I really hope, just as far as just mental health wise and everything's okay. Everything's going to be okay, because that is the one thing I'd be worried about the position she's been putting herself in. But she's actively basically saying, I'm going to be the heel. I'm going to be the villain in this story. Because you know what? If you're the villain, people are still going to talk about you. And sometimes, especially when it comes to sports, people root for the villains. So, and this isn't me saying it. I think I said it in a video earlier, when basically she kind of played up to the fact that the media were portraying her as a villain when she was in college. And everyone's like, no, she didn't. The media just did that. I was like, no, it's her words, not mine. She knows what she's doing. She's tactical in what she's doing. She's extremely smart as far as marketing herself. And that is a good thing for the WNBA. And she is not wrong that Angel Reese is a reason why people are watching the WNBA. Because what people don't understand is that if Magic Johnson came along without Larry Bird, people may not have watched. If Michael Jordan didn't have everything around him, didn't have the story, didn't have the Lakers in the other conference, the Trailblazers, do you not remember that? Is Jordan even better than Clyde Drexler debate? Obviously, it was never a debate, but that's what people were talking about. Everyone wanted to see the finals being like, Jesus, Clyde Drexler shoots better than Jordan, and Jordan goes and shoots him out of the game straight away in the series. So, like, was Michael Jordan the reason for the growth of the NBA? Yeah, but if it wasn't for Hakeem, if it wasn't for Clyde, if it wasn't for that little bit of doubt that Jordan was going to win, if it wasn't for these players playing against them, if it wasn't for, again, for women's college basketball, if it wasn't for the fact that, like, obviously Nika Mule was there, guarding her, Paige Beuckers for UConn, the LSU team of Flo J, Angel Reese, everyone wanted to see that game, everyone wanted to see her face the powerhouse, and then they faced this, like, unbeatable machine in South Carolina in the final and came up a little bit short. Were most people tuning in to watch the Caitlin Clark story? Yes. But the Caitlin Clark story does not happen without Angel Reese, Flo J, Hailey Van Lith, Camila Cardoso, the year prior, Aaliyah Boston. Doesn't happen without Kate Martin, Gabby Marshall, Monica Sinano. It doesn't happen without Paige, Alia Edwards, Nika Mule. Doesn't happen without any of these people. And that is the one thing that Angel Reese seems to get. And it's the one thing that she's 1,000,000% right about. Is that if this was a league where Caitlin Clark was coming in and averaging 45 points a game and was absolutely making a fool of everybody in the league, I don't think people will be there for that long. People will stick around. I don't think in its current state people will stick around because of the fact that she's just being beaten up out of the league, and the reason why people are watching Caitlin Clark, she can't do it. If she was just stinking it up, then it's one thing, but she's getting beat out of the league pretty much by her peers, so that's a different story completely. I don't know how they stay around if things don't change for that, but people want to watch her against A'ja Wilson. People want to watch her match up to Kelsey Plum, to Sabrina. People want to watch her match up to Angel Reese. And you know what? This Chicago Sky game I think they're playing on like the 18th of June or something, or when it's in June sometime. That's gonna break every record from the last game. I think the Sky win this time. In fairness, like, the Sky are just a much better team. Unless Benley happens to be back for it, I think the Sky just walk away with that game. But at the end of the day, like, it creates intrigue, and they are right. The WNBA was growing, women's basketball was growing. And the league isn't in as good a position as it is right now without all the other players. And that includes Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, like Rickea Jackson, all of these rookies. They are bringing eyes to the league. It, like, at the same time, like, Taurasi didn't. I'm not going to say Taurasi brought it. As good as Taurasi was, I'm not going to say she really brought eyes to the league. I'm not saying Sue Bird brought eyes to the league in her history. But I do think over the last few years, A'ja Wilson's brought more eyes. Breanna Stewart's brought more eyes. So, like, these players had already done part of the job. But the main reason why so many people are watching is because of Caitlin Clark. And I don't think she's... Like, she never said Caitlin Clark's not a reason. Caitlin Clark is the main reason. But she's also wrong. She's also not wrong saying that Caitlin Clark is the only reason. Is not the only reason. Because Angel Reese is a big reason why people are watching. Like, she is not... Like... If you want to say who is the bigger reason, Caitlin Clark versus the field, I think that's probably close. It's probably close, the combination of the rest of them versus Clark. But at the same time, you can't deny that Angel Reese has brought eyes on the sport. I do want to say the Twitter video thing is one of the dumbest arguments ever. It was 2 million impressions on a Twitter video. Like, I've had tweets get 2 million impressions. Like, it's not uncommon. If you scroll past a tweet, it counts as an impression. So it's probably the equivalent. I would say it had maybe 4,000 or 5,000 max live concurrents. That is not comparable to Caitlin Clark's game. I can't remember who it was against, averaging 1.6 million concurrent viewers. There's no comparison there. It's probably about 10,000 at most to 1.6 million. Very different numbers there. But at the same time, there is no question about it. And especially off the court. Caitlin Clark does not bring eyes to a whole social media, a whole other demographic, whereas Angel Reese does. There are people waiting to follow Angel Reese social media. There are people wanting to see what Angel Reese is doing. There's people that are like Angel Reese going to big concerts. She is a celebrity as much as she is a basketball player, and there are people that are going to watch just for that. So she's not lying and saying she's the reason. She's really not. And you know what? As long as everything's okay mental health wise with her playing the villain as far as just notoriety and how much people know her is probably the better thing. And at least she came out and said it, that she's going to be the villain, because it nips it in the bud. Like, it stops the narrative of the media is making her a villain when she has said it herself, because all of that stuff brings in the whole, this is not a basketball debate, this is a your side versus my side, and making Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese about non-basketball topics. So at least she said it, and it's going to be interesting. Look, these WNBA players are doing a better job of making the sport interesting, and there's a reason why people are talking about it. So that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.